This is the only video you need to master complete Supabase from beginner to advanced. You will learn about policy creation. You will learn about creating bucket where you can store all the media files, video, audio, and images. You will also build the connection with the real application. You're going to debug all the data in the table. You can provide multi-level accessibility as an admin, moderator, and user. So that's all we're going to cover in this video. So if you watch this video till then, you don't need to watch any other video about Supabase. You can build the connection and set up in the project and make the call. So let me take you to the entire project. So you will find that currently I have this particular project, and if I come back to my front end, you will find that I have my environment variable. What I'm doing, this is my decentralized application where I'm storing the media file and the user information to our database. So that's the connection I'm going to build, and I'm going to also store the media file. So for that, I have to create the policy, I have to create the bucket and do all the configuration. And I already built my own schema model. So this is the complete schema model which I have designed for this particular project, which I'm going to configure, and I will show you that how you can do the configuration based on the SQL model. You can migrate it very easily, but SQL model is very easy and you can start with very fast. That's the complete setup we're going to do in our project. So come back to the browser and you will find that I have already used the same model in this particular project. So you can watch this video till then and you will find that how every single thing is coming together. So what I will do, I'll open a new tab and I will type Supabase. This one is the most powerful backend system we have at the moment, and you can able to scale and build all the models. So you will get all the thing which you need to build a scalable application in one position. You can go with other provider, but this one I like most and it's really powerful. So you can come back here and you can read about the model, the architecture they are utilizing, that how you can able to scale it, how you can create multiple system to test. That's all you can do it. So what I will do, I'll first create my account, which I have already done. I have verified my account. So make sure if you haven't verified your account, first create your account and verify your account, and you will get this option called dashboard. So click here and you will come back to your dashboard straight away. And right now you will find that the moment I will come into my dashboard, I'm getting this particular organization. So here you will have an option to create your organization. So you can click here and you can create a brand new organization. You can give a name, you can give a type, that pick the type, and you can select any one of this which you want to use it. You can check your plan. So I'll go with the free plan. So you can simply create a new organization, but I'm not going to do it because I already have one organization that is enough for me. So what I will do, I'll simply come back here and I'll go back to my earlier organization, because when you will create your account, it will ask you to create an organization. So this is the one I have and it's a free plan. So I'll simply click here and I will come back to my organization, which is email AI. And right now you will find that I don't have any project in this. So in this I can create multiple projects. I'm using the free account, so I can create up to 2 projects for free. If I want to create the third project in one organization, I have to upgrade my account. I'm just go with the 2 projects. So first I will do, I'll click on this. And here you will have this model. From here you have to select all of these details. So first I'm going to select the organization, which is email AI, and here I have to give the name to my project. So I'll select this blockchain app, and here I have to give the password. So let me give the password. I'll say I given my password. Make sure to pick a strong password, and from here you have to select the region. So whatever is recommending to you based on your location, you have to select that, and make sure you have to activate this one. The moment you will activate, you will get an API connection which you can simply provide in the credential and build the connection. So once you provide all of these details, looks fine. Now click on this create new project, and it's going to create a new project for you. Just wait. Soon it's going to create a new project. Let me make on the big screen, and once the project is created successfully, you will find an interface like this. No matter when you are watching, this interface might be different depending if you are watching this video after 1 year, 2 years, the interface would be different, but this is the exact thing you will get. So you will have all the details, and right now you will find the status is unhealthy. So I can click here and you will find all the details about your database. So mostly our backend is ready. Sometime it will take a little bit time, but now it's activated. And here you will find all the details, the framework, direct, ORMs, MCP, API key, and all the details you will find about the database which you will make. But the one thing which you're going to use very frequently when you will start working on the project, which you will find here. So if you come back to the table, here you will find all the details. So when you will add your schema model, which I will show you, you will find all the tables. So you can go back to the section and you can see. If you come back to the SQL editor, so you can simply upload your schema model right from here, and you can run that and it will display all the details. That's all the option you will find: database, authentication, storage. We have the functions, real time, advisor, observability, logs, integration, project settings. That's all you will find. So first thing we have to do is to come back here in the project overview, and we have to get our string. So I'll click here, and this is the first thing you have to get. So this is the unique string for your project, this particular database. And that's what I'm going to copy and provide in my database, sorry, in my front end. So I'll simply come back here, go back to the environment variable, and that's what I have to provide as a URL. So this is my unique URL for that particular database. Now I have to get my public key, which also called ANON, and I have to get my secret role. So to get these two credentials, I have to come back here. I can go back to my project setting, and I can go back to this API key, and here you will find all the details about your key. So the one I would like to get is this one, legacy one, and here you will find your public key and the secret role. So let's get this one first, copy, and that's what we have to simply paste here. So simply paste here, we got our public key, now we have to get our secret key. So I'll simply come back here and get the secret role. So first click on this, copy, and that's what I can simply paste here. So this is how you can get your credential. So once you have the credential, you have built the bridge, the connection with the backend system. Now we have to upload our schema model. We have to tell our backend system the data is going to be come in this particular format so it can store. So for that, what I will do, I'll simply come back here and I'm going to come back to my Supabase, and this is the schema model we have designed for our project. So this is the huge schema model. Depending what type of application you want to build, you have to write your schema model. So I'll simply copy this entire piece of code. That's what I will do. Now I'll simply come back here and I will go back to the SQL editor. Click on this, and that's what I'm going to provide here. So this is the huge schema model. It's very basic. So if you are absolutely new to backend development, I would suggest you to follow this particular playlist in which we have built the complete backend where we have designed the entire schema model. So what I did, I simply pasted my schema model where I have defined all the things, all the network configuration, the files, the data type which I want to store. That's all I have defined here. Now all I can do is to click on this run and just keep this one as it is. There's no problem in that. Click on this, run this query, and you will find that you will get the success. Just wait, and here it will return the success. So means our schema model is loaded successfully to our database. Now I want to create the bucket because this particular application which I'm developing in this schema model, it's also receiving media files. So I have to create the policy, then I have to create a bucket in which I'm going to store the entire media file. So once you will come back here in the table editor, you will find all the tables which you have defined in your schema model. So if you come back to the market, there you will find all the data for the market. If you come back to the price history, trade, validator assignment, and validator vote, that's all you will find, because this is what I have defined in my schema model. So what I will do now, I'll come back to the storage because there I'm going to store my images. So right now you will find that I have already this particular bucket which I have created. So let me delete this one so I can show you. So I'll simply click here and I'll simply go back to the policies, and there you will find all the policies which you will create. That's all you will find here. So I'll simply come back here in the application and I'll go back to my storage one more time. I'll come back to the policies, and you will find that I have multiple policies. So what I will do, let me delete all these policies one by one, because if you create the policy in one application, it's going to be available in all the applications. So I have already created a bunch of policies. So let me delete that one. Just wait, here we are deleting. Let me delete this one as well. And just a moment, and I can click on this delete as well. Perfect. So I have deleted all the policy. Now I can come back to my bucket, and right now I have this particular bucket with me. So what I will do, I'll simply come back here and I'm going to delete this bucket as well. I can simply first remove this remove policy, and it's going to remove all the policies which you have implemented. So from here you can simply clear the policies. Now I can come back here and you will find that I already have this navigator and we already have this bucket. So I can click on this edit bucket and I want to delete this bucket. So let me simply copy this particular image and I can click on this and click on this delete bucket. And this name reference is very important because this is the one name reference I have defined in my schema model. So this is the name I'm going to copy. So let me copy this one more time, and it's deleting. Once I will get the confirmation, you will find that I don't have any bucket. So right now I make every single thing clear. Now if I come back in the project, every single thing is good. You can see my health is also looking fine. I'll come back to the storage and you will find that we don't have any bucket. So the first thing we have to do if we want to store the media file, and this one only you need when you want to store the media file with permission and without permission. So what I will do, I'll click on this new bucket, and here you will have multiple options. You can go with public bucket, so anybody can upload, and that's what you have to use when you are building an application where you are allowing user to upload the media file, any kind of document. So I'll give the same name. This is the name I will get, market images, and I want to keep it public. If you want to restrict to a specific user and a specific rate limit, you can do with that. but just go with the public. That's what you will use extensively. So I'll click on this create, and once you will create the bucket would be created. Now you cannot able to use this bucket straight away, because you have to define the policy that how you want to take the data, who going to assign the data. So if I come back here in the policies, you will find that I have the particular bucket which I have created. So in this, I'm going to add a specific policy which would be taken, and user can upload that file. So I'll simply click on this new policy, and here you will have this two method. You can go with quick start or you can go with full customization. So I would always recommend you go with full customization, where you will have most of the option. You can go with the quick start depending on your application which you want to develop. So I'll click on this customization, and you will come back here. You can see it will automatically select the bucket which you have designed, in which is going to store all the information. So what I will do, first I'm going to give the name. So what I will do, I'll simply come back here and I will select this one, public and view market image. You can call whatever you want to your bucket, the policy name. Now from here you can select all the methods. So if you want to allow user base access, like if you want to allow a moderator or admin, you can go with the insert model, you can go with update model, delete model, but I just want to go with the select model. So it can have all this model, and whenever we can define, and we can simply upload that one. So simply select this one, because this is the global approach, you have to use it. From here you will have multiple options, but I would suggest you to keep it to default, because I just want to upload my file in that particular bucket. I don't want to restrict based on the accessibility. And this is absolutely fine. The bucket ID is very important, because that's the schema model, and we're going to read from the bucket to inject in our database. So we got all of this information. Now all we have to do is to click on this review, and you can see the policy which we have generated. This one is very important, because this is going to provide you the access of the bucket which you can simply pass on the file. Once you're done with that, now click on the save policy, and your policy would be saved. It would be stored in your account, and right now you will find the policies available in this particular bucket. So most of the work is already done. We have already provided our SQL editor, and we have run the, and the one thing you have to keep in mind that if you run this again, it's going to remove all the data which you have in your database. So once your database is activated, once you start getting your users, make sure don't need to run this one more time, because the moment you will do that, is going to remove all the users. So if I come back to my tables right now, you will find that I don't have any data right up here. I don't have any data. But if I come back to my SQL editor, I can simply run this one. Let's click on this, I can run this one, and it will return me success. But the moment I will do that, whatever data I will have right up here is going to be removed, and it will be a fresh database. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind. So my database is activated. Now what I will do, I can simply come back to my application, and this looks good to me. Let's make on the big screen, and I have all of these details, looks fine. Close this one, and first thing, I have to start my backend. So I'll come back here. I already have this terminal, so you can see that I'm into my contract, in this contract section. So let me quickly deploy my contract. So first thing I'm going to do is to start my node. So I'll come back here, and this is the command I have to start. I'll say run node, and this will start my blockchain node, and it's going to give me all the accounts. If you are not from blockchain, still you can follow this one, okay? So this is running. Now I have to simply deploy my contract. So I'll simply click here, and I'm going to create another terminal, and still I'm in the same directory, the contract directory. Now I have to deploy the contract. So what I will do, I'll simply copy this particular command. Let's copy this entire whole command and type npm run, paste this, and hit enter. The moment I will do that, is going to deploy my contract to my local environment, and is going to give me all the details and the contract addresses. So here I got the details and the deployment account details. That's all I have. Okay, that's the first thing, and this should be running, looks fine. Now what I will do, I'll come back to my front end, and you will find that I have already put all the variables, my contract variables. This is good. Now what I will come back here, and I have already done the installation of the node modules, fine, and I'm in the front end. Now all I have to do is to simply start my application. I will run this particular command, type npm run dev, hit enter, and it's going to start our application on localhost 3000. So you will find the application is running absolutely fine. I'll simply copy this one. I'll come back here. I'll simply open a new tab, paste the URL, and hit enter. And you will find that our application would be working absolutely fine, and it's going to open smoothly in our front end. Just wait. Soon we're going to test it out. So you can see our application is loaded, and here we are on the front end side. So it's a predicted the future. It's a Web3 application where user can predict future event. If their prediction is right, they will get the commission, and they will get the money back double. That kind of application we have developed. So if we can come back here, and I can come back to the view market, and it will take me to the marketplace. Right now we don't have any project, so we have to create the project, then the user can start predicting. So what I will do, I'll simply come back here, and will disconnect my wallet first. Let me connect my wallet one more time, and let me give my password. I'll say, let me give my password, and here I got my password. You can see I'm connected with my account, looks fine. Now once I connect it, now I can come back here in the admin, because only admin can create the document. So I can come back here, and I will come back here and I can give the question which I want. So I'll say that's the question I have given, whether it could be yes or no, because we are following the prediction model. User can answer in yes or no. I'll give the same description as of now, but you have to give the brief description, and from here I have to select the time, that how long I want to run this context, this particular game. I'll go with for 7 days, and from here I can upload my file. So once I select it, I can come back here and I can select this particular file. I'll click on this open, and you will find the file is uploaded. You can see finally the file is uploaded. If I come back to my bucket, you will find the bucket, come back to the storage, you will find that this is the bucket I have. I can click on this, and currently we have this particular one image. This is the one we have uploaded. So it's getting stored into our database. You got it? This is the file we have uploaded. We have built the connection, we have targeted that particular bucket in which we have stored the file. Now what I will do, I'll simply come back to my application, and I can click on this create market. The moment I will do that, you will find it's going to call to my MetaMask wallet, and I'm performing the transaction. So let me click on this confirm, and you will find the transaction is completed, and we have created our first database, first data set in our backend. So I can click on it, and you will find the database. I can click here, and I will simply come back here, and I can able to do all the trade. I can simply do the bidding, and I can invest. That's all I can do. Now you can come back here in the backend database, and you will find that this is the image we have. When the user will perform the trade, that's all the data is going to be reflecting here. So this is how you can build the connection and perform all the transaction. So you will find that this is what I got it. Now if I want to do the investment, I can select, and I can go with yes, and I can simply call this yes buy, and it's going to make a call. Let me click on this confirm, and the transaction is completed, and I have given my bet. So once the time period would be over, the transaction, the final prediction would be validated on the chain with the contract and with the real validator. Once they validate, and if my prediction is right, I'll get my amount double. So you can see this is how you can build the connection. No matter what application you are developing, whether it's a Web3, Web2, whatever application you are building, you can simply build the connection and perform all the transaction. That's all the data you will find right up here whenever the transaction will take place. That's all you will find. The market, that's all you will find. So you will find all the details. You can define as many data as you want. You can define all of that. You can go back to the price, street trades, wherever the trade will happen, that's all is going to reflect here. Voter validators, right now it's empty because we haven't performed the transaction with the backend with the admin. So this is how you can do it. I hope you can understand. If you come back to the overview, there you will find the complete details about the transaction, the database, the auth request, the storage. That's all you can find. You can upload as many files as you find. That's all you can do it. So I hope you have understood. This is how you can build the connection with your backend Supabase to any application. I gave you the example with Web3, but you can do exactly the same thing. This is the exact way you have to build the connection, no matter what application you are developing. This is the only way to build the connection. You can do it. Simply build your schema model, upload the schema model. If you want to create the policy, you can come back here and you can create the policy and add it. So that's the only thing I want to cover. I hope this video is helpful for you. You have understood that how you can build your Supabase connection with your application. So that's the only thing from my end. If you have any question, any doubt, do let me in the comment section. I'll definitely try to help you in that. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.